Hey, what's up?
Hey, did you feel that spark just now? Did your heart skip when you saw Taehyung returning just before the Dior event, right when Jungkook was involved? Coincidence or something deeper? If you believe there's more behind every glance, hit subscribe and let's unravel this together. The return that stole breath. I want you to imagine sitting alone, scrolling through news, when suddenly, a notification pops up. Taehyung has landed in Paris just before the Dior show. Your pulse quickens. Because timing like that, it doesn't just whisper, it shouts. That day, social media exploded. Armies and fashion watchers alike paused their lives. Cameras flashed. Hashtags trended. And there at the center were two names, Taehyung and Jungkook. Their paths converging at the same time. Was it destiny? Was it strategy? Or was it a hidden connection written behind the scenes? When Taehyung stepped off the plane, the world held its breath. His expression, calm, poised, but to those who watch closely, a flicker of something soft, something expectant, something heavy with meaning. Jungkook's moment, the silent pull. Meanwhile, Jungkook, on his own journey with obligations, preps, expectations, is preparing for that very Dior event. He arrives in Paris, setting up for red carpets, fashion lines, interviews. Yet fans noticed. In candid camera shots, even backstage, there was a subtle tension, a glance toward doors, waiting. See, it's rarely in grand gestures. The most meaningful things hide in fleeting looks, in micro-expressions. A half-turn, a pause in the eyes, a breath taken just before speaking. Did Jungkook sense Taehyung's arrival before anyone announced it? Did he feel something tug inside? These are the mysteries I want us to walk through. Together. Because if their returning paths weren't mere coincidence, then what? Memories that bind, past threads weaving forward. You and I both know Taehyung's story didn't start today. It's been built over years. Subtle moments, shared laughs, inside jokes, emotional support. Remember when Jungkook teased Tae about his expressions during performances? Or when Taehyung would catch Jungkook's eye mid-stage? Those weren't just fandom lore, they were connective tissue. In quiet interviews, they've spoken about trust, about leaning on each other when nights got dark, when doubts crept in. These bonds, emotional, spiritual, become invisible threads that pull two people toward synchronicity. That's why something as timely as Taehyung's return just before Dior doesn't feel random. It feels like a choreography of fate, rehearsed subtly over years. The Paris prelude, signals and silence. As Taehyung landed, photographers swarmed. He moved through the airport, layers of style, aura of calm. Fans cheered. The world watched. But behind that there were hints. A Dior accessory in his carry-on. A stylist's whisper. A choice of outfit that might align with the themes of the show. At the same time, Jungkook was preparing backstage. Choosing lines, rehearsing, meeting stylists, adjusting fits. And in those preparations, costume choices surfaced. A color, a cut, a piece that echoed something Tae had worn before. In quiet corners, hallways, elevator rides, sound checks, the air felt electric. Because two powerful presences were inching closer, each in their own orbit, yet about to intersect. And when the cameras finally captured both of them in proximity, even if separate, the click of the shutter carried weight beyond fashion. Carried story. The moment of crossing, when worlds meet. Picture this. The Dior show begins. The lights dim. The runway glows. Celebrities, photographers, fans, all watch. Jungkook steps out, cameras flashing. Not long after, Taehyung appears in arrivals, or in side frames, or in overlapping hallways. Their silhouettes brush, almost touching. Air shifts. To onlookers, two beautiful figures in the same space. To those attuned, an echo of familiarity, a recognition, something that unsettles definition. In one still shot, they face opposite directions, yet somehow the same wind seems to blow their hair the same way. In another, Jungkook turns, and within a heartbeat, Tae glances over. In that fraction, a conversation unspoken, a current exchanged. Was it coincidence? Or a pull so strong that even the universe aligned their paths? Emotional underlay. What their hearts might be saying. Let's pause and imagine being in their shoes. Taehyung arriving after travel, carrying a collage of emotions. Excitement, fatigue, expectation, stepping toward a world that watches him. His heart might race, for his craft, for his presence, for ARMY, but also secretly for the one whose footsteps echo behind his. Jungkook, backstage, spotlight poised, adrenaline high, and somewhere in that flurry is a silent awareness. Tae's near. A heartbeat's distance. Does that steady the nerves? Or amplify them? The dance between intention and instinct, between affection and restraint, that's where depth lives. Because if they feel something, and I believe they do, the tension isn't just romantic or fandom fantasy. It's human, vulnerable, bold. The twist, beyond coincidence. Here's where things shift. Because what seems like magic often has roots. Hidden choices, planned moves. Consider this. What if Taehyung's return schedule was aligned with Dior's calendar, not by accident but by design? What if someone, stylist, manager, perhaps even Taehyung himself, set steps so that this intersection would be possible? And Jungkook likewise may have known. Maybe not in full but felt, sensed, prepared. Maybe his route to Dior was pre-measured, so that he'd cross paths, even briefly. If that's true, then the coincidence becomes an artistic choice, a narrative device, private dance projected publicly, and in that, a declaration. We can exist in proximity and meaning, even within structures bigger than us. If that's the twist, what does it demand of us, of fans, of storytellers? Reactions, ARMY media, the Whisper Network. When social media caught the overlap, the arrival shots, the backstage leaks, ARMY erupted. Did you see Tae behind Jungkook? Coincidence? Or more? Hidden connection confirmed. Fans dug into timestamps, angles, statements. The Whisper Network blossomed, blogs, forums, TikToks asking, did Jungkook sense Tae's return? Did their stylists plan this? Media outlets speculated, Taekook lovers rejoice. Fashion meets fate, a cosmic alignment at Dior. And HYBE, always watching, likely leaned in, reading the ripples, analyzing PR, acknowledging some scratching of reality beyond control. Because once the world starts reading between frames, a narrative transcends what's shown. It lives in what's felt. The moment you and I collide in story. Now this isn't just a tale of idols. It's our mirror. Because hasn't life given you intersections? Moments when people seem to appear just when you need them. When timing feels haunted by resonance. When paths align, we ask, was it coincidence? Or is something deeper drawing us together? In watching Taekook's dance at Dior, I see boldness. To exist, to align, to permit connection even when worlds are massive. It teaches us, we do not need to shrink for expectations. We do not need to apologize for gravitational pull. This story invites you to notice your intersections, those people, moments, meetings that feel inevitable. To lean in, to acknowledge. If they can align, maybe you can too. The climax, the unseen declaration. As the Dior curtains fall, lights fade, guests filter out, an unseen moment lingers. Jungkook exits, Taehyung too. In the corridors near doors, cameras press, security moves, and we see one final glance. Fugitive, meaningful, human. It's fast. It's brief. But to those who know how to see, it's everything. It's an unspoken declaration, not us, but us in the world. Not together, but aligned. Not love, but recognition. There is beauty in that subtlety. What this connection teaches us. From their paths I feel lessons. 1. Timing is sacred. The right moment can change everything. 2. Love isn't always loud. Some bonds speak in glances, in proximity, in felt presence. 3. Destiny is co-written. If you believe in connection, you also become part of its choreography. For courage is subtle. It's not always grand confession. Sometimes it's stepping into the same frame. 5. We are mirrors. What we perceive in others often reflects what lives inside us. Longing, alignment, hope. The ending, your turn to align. So now, with this story settled in your heart, I want to ask you, where are your intersecting paths? Who's walking near you? Perhaps seen, perhaps unseen, that you felt drawn to. Don't shrink from that pull. Don't dismiss small signals. Because sometimes the universe writes in fine lines, in soft edges, inviting us to step closer. Taehyung's alignment at Dior might have been orchestrated, or it might have been fate. But regardless, its echo lingers. It whispers. Proximity can carry power. If you believe in alignment, in connection, in stories that feel larger than life, remember to subscribe. Because here we tell the tales of hearts in orbit. Thank you for walking this moment with me. May your intersections find you, and may you dare to lean into them.